July 2019. My aunt's house outside Decatur. 80 years old. Not one air conditioner in the whole building. 97 degrees on her porch thermometer. Inside, I could have used a blanket. 3 miles down the road sat my house. Built 2004. Central air running so hard the unit outside never cycled off. My August bill was $340. Same county. Same afternoon. Same sun. I asked her what she was doing. She said she wasn't doing anything. Hadn't done anything in 60 years. The house did it. Here's what she meant, and I'll give it to you right now. Her house dumped every bit of stored heat overnight and started each morning empty. Mine didn't. Your air conditioner isn't fighting the sun outside your window. It's fighting yesterday's heat sitting in your walls, and it starts that fight already behind. 4 things did that work. I'm going to show you all 4, and 3 of them you can put on a modern house. One of them won't work where you live, though. If you're on the Gulf Coast, that one will make your house damp instead of cool. I'll get to that before you try anything. I'm Otis. Where I grew up in northern Alabama, nobody had central air, and nobody thought that was hard. My granddaddy had one rule about the windows. They came open at dusk and they closed before 8 in the morning. My cousin forgot one August. Left the west windows open till noon. Granddaddy didn't holler about it. He just made him sleep in that room. Start with the thing my aunt pointed at. Above every interior door in that house sits a small hinged window, a transom. Most folks think it's decoration. It isn't. Hot air rises. In a house with 12-foot ceilings, the hottest air in every room collects up where nobody's standing. Open the transoms and that air has somewhere to go. Out of the room, down the hall, up and out the top of the house. Cool air gets pulled in low behind it to take its place. That's the whole engine. Warm air leaves high, cool air enters low, nothing plugged in. And it works with the bedroom doors shut. That's the part people miss. Privacy and airflow at the same time. Now it wasn't only the transoms. Go look at an old double-hung window. 2 sashes, and both of them move. That is not an accident either. Drop the top sash a few inches, raise the bottom one. You have just built a chimney inside a single window frame. Hot air leaves through the gap at the top, cool air comes in at the bottom, and one window is doing the work of 2. Most people have lived their entire lives with those windows and never once moved the top sash. I did it for years. Modern houses killed all of this twice over. We dropped ceilings to 8 feet, and we hung solid doors with weather stripping. Now every room is a sealed box. Second is the roof hanging out past the wall. 3 feet, sometimes 4. People think that's for rain. Rain's part of it. It's not the reason. The sun sits in a different place in summer than it does in winter. At our latitude, July noon, sun is close to 80 degrees up, near enough straight overhead. January noon sun is about 30. Same sun, less than half the height. So a builder could figure that overhang to a length where summer sun never touches the south windows at all, and winter sun comes all the way in and warms the floor. Same house. Shade in July, heat in January. Nobody flips a switch. You can check this on your own place today. Walk outside around noon and look at where the shadow line falls on your south wall. If it lands below the windows, somebody thought about it. If the sun is sitting on the glass, nobody did. Now I want to be straight about something. This only works on the south side. Morning and evening sun come in low from the east and the west, and no overhang stops low sun. That's what the shutters were for, and I'll get there. Third is what's over your head right now. On a July afternoon, the air in an unvented attic gets to 150 degrees. That's not the outside temperature. That's a furnace sitting on your bedroom ceiling, radiating down into the house all night, long after the sun's gone. Old houses gave it a way out. A ridge vent along the peak, gable openings at both ends. Some places put a cupola on the roof. That little box with the louvered sides looks like decoration. It's a chimney for the attic. Hot air out the top, cooler air in at the eaves. And the attic never loads up, and it isn't only the heat coming down into your rooms. That trapped air carries moisture with it, and it cooks your shingles from the underside. An attic with no way to breathe will take years off a roof you paid for. If your vents are painted shut or packed over with insulation, you've got the furnace and no flue. Fourth is the shutters. Real ones that close. Here's the thing that matters, and it's the only reason they lived on the outside. Once sunlight comes through the glass, that heat is already in your house. Blinds and curtains on the inside only decide where it goes. They don't turn it back. An outside shutter stops the sun before it ever reaches the glass. There's a number on that. Shade on the outside of the window turns back something like 3/4 of the heat. The same shade hung on the inside turns back maybe 1/4 of it. Same fabric, same window. The only thing that changed is which side of the glass it's sitting on. Those decorative shutters screwed flat to the siding beside your windows, the ones that don't close and never did. Those are the ghost of something that used to do work. Now the part I promised. That whole system rests on one thing being true. The night has to get cool and dry. The house dumps its heat after dark and starts empty in the morning. If you're on the Gulf Coast or South Florida or anywhere, the night low sits at 80 with the dew point right behind it. Opening up at dusk doesn't cool anything. It pulls damp air into a house that's been holding it out all day. You wake up to sticky floors and a mold problem, and you've traded a power bill for a repair bill. Down where I grew up, the nights broke. That's why it worked there. Know which one you've got before you start, and there's a second version of this that has nothing to do with weather. If you're on a busy road, or ragweed puts you down every September, or you don't feel right leaving windows open overnight, this isn't for you either. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. So here's what actually transfers. Open up at dusk, windows on 2 opposite sides, not one, and close them before 8 in the morning, before the outside air passes the inside air. That's the whole trick, and it costs nothing. Go look at your attic vents. If the ridge is blocked, or the gable louvers are painted over, that's your first fix. Put outside shade on your worst window, the west-facing one that cooks your living room at 6 o'clock, an awning, an exterior roller shade, a tree, outside, not inside, and on the ceiling fan. It cools people, not rooms. Moving air makes your skin feel cooler. That's all it does. If the room's empty, that fan is a small heater running on your bill. Turn it off when you leave. One more thing. You probably can't build this one, but it tells you how serious they were. A lot of those houses had a sleeping porch, screened in, upstairs, off the back. Whole families slept out there from June through September. That wasn't roughing it. The coolest hour of the entire day is the one just before sunrise, and a bedroom in the middle of a house never sees it. Out on that porch, you did. They arranged where they slept around the temperature because they had no other way to move it. We've got another way now. It just costs $340 in August. My aunt passed in 2021. The house is still standing, still has no air conditioner, and somebody is living in it right now with the transoms open. She was pointing at a window above a door. I looked at that thing for 20 years and never once thought about it. How old is your house? And does it still have any of this left in it? Tell me down below.